Hello and good evening, friends, and welcome to another edition of the Friday Night Cerebral Smack Talk right here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. Don't adjust your volume. Yes, it is indeed your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here, once again sitting in tonight for good old MF Michael Fletcher. MF with work commitments beyond his control, but he has assured me that he will be back with us on Sunday night when we recap the TLC pay-per-view. So MF will be back with us on Sunday night. So for tonight, myself, alongside the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, we are going to take you through what ended up being another edition of Friday Night SmackDown. But to make up for that, we will be previewing the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view. So we'll get into that in a little bit. So without any further ado, folks, let's get into this final Friday Night SmackDown before TLC. SmackDown on Fox, live tonight from the brand new Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the new home of the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks. And without any further ado, I'm just going to tell you right now, there's not going to be much relevant stuff for us to get into here because, as you know, when I host the show, we don't dignify nonsense stuff. We don't do that. So anything I see as nonsense, you're out. So we're only going to get into relevant stuff on this show here tonight. So with that being said, Bullock and Dee Dee, just hang tight. So we started it off. Well, this is most certainly nonsense. King Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, they come out and they run their mouths. Yeah, what else is new? But then they get interrupted by the New Day. So, but even with Kofi and Big E out there, Corbin is just nonstop cringe for me in this King character. But then again, not just me. He's nonstop cringe for all of us. He's nonstop cringe for Bullock, and he's nonstop cringe for Dee Dee Woodson as well. So, but Kofi and Big E, they brought things back to life a little bit, but there was very little reaction to Corbin trying to celebrate his big dog food attack. So we all know that angle. So enough said. Then we move on to a tag team matchup, a women's tag team matchup. Well, I'm thinking Teddy Long must have booked this show tonight because we had a lot of tag team matches tonight, player. A lot of them. So here was one of them. A women's tag team matchup. Fire and Desire. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville squaring off against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win the match 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Very strange that a feud being billed as so personal would end up being such a quick match with a decisive finish. So that's really all there was to say. And even though Fire and Desire did attack Bliss and Cross in the entryway before the match started, so not even that. So I was expecting at least a solid match from those four, but no. But we move on to a tag team. Here's another tag team matchup, but this was a good one here. We had the Revival squaring off against Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali. Revival win the match 9 minutes and 1 second after a shatter machine. This to me was the fight of the night. I'm giving this 3 to 3.25 stars. This was a fun tag match, and it was nice to see the Revival get a win. It's hard to get invested in anything WWE does with tag teams, but oftentimes the matches deliver despite the bookings. So a very good tag team matchup here. 3.25 stars. For me, my default fight of the night. So nothing more to say. I'm going to bring Michael Bullock in. This is relevant stuff here. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the Revival against Gable and Ali? Fight of the night for me.
Yeah, by default, this was the fight of the night. I'll give it about 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. I mean, this was a good match here with these two teams. I mean, I thought the chemistry was good for the time being, but yeah, of course, we all know the Revival have a tag team matchup coming up Sunday at TLC against the New Day, and of course, now we know that it's going to now be a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team title. So this just got interesting. So we'll wait and see how it all goes. So yeah, 2.5 to 3. So Dee Dee Woodson, your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I'll agree about 2.5 to 3. It definitely was the fight of the night compared to some of the other stuff we had tonight. So not much else I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
All right, very well. And we move on. Another cutout here. SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley squaring off against Dana Brooke. It stemmed from a backstage segment where Dana Brooke was hanging with Elias, and Elias insulted Bayley through song. I told Bullock about it, and Bullock got a laugh out of it. So you got to see it to believe it. But nonetheless, Bayley wins the match, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. I was hoping for a bit more time for Bayley and Dana. They put in a couple good minutes, but it seemed like it was over right when it began to get interesting. So that's all there is to say on that. And then we had a sit-down interview, Renee Young, in a sit-down interview with The Miz, and they talked about, all this Bray Wyatt stuff, that cringeworthy stuff we saw last week. But you thought it couldn't get any more cringeworthy. Well, it does. Maurice, she calls for Miz during the interview, and then they noticed that the Firefly Funhouse puppets were in Baby Monroe's crib, and then they were frantic, and that's what's to say on that. This the sit-down interview was fine, but then once we got the Firefly Funhouse nonsense in there, that was cringeworthy for me. The feud is stupid because it requires the audience to forget that there is a justice system and laws that exist in our society. And if you can be open-minded enough to put that aside, they're going for a cheap family in distress story that they cannot possibly pay off in a satisfactory way. So the match that we're going to have is not for the Universal Championship. It's a non-title match. And, we're going to get more into that in just a minute when we do our TLC preview. Then we had another solid tag team match here. Heavy Machinery squaring off against Cesaro and Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Shinsuke Nakamura with Sami Zayn out there. Winners of the match, 9 minutes and 33 seconds. It was Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura with the Kinshasa on Otis for the win. So, Dee Dee Woodson, here's the only other real relevant match here on this show tonight.
Yeah, it was a very good match. I'd have to give this one probably the second best honors. I'm going to give it probably 3 stars. There's a lot of shenanigans that went on, but still, it was really, these guys really did a good job. So there's not much more I'm going to say about it. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, another 3-star effort. I don't think Heavy Machinery lost much in defeat here. They got in a lot of offense, and the crowd was hot for all of their spots in comedy. They're doing well with live crowds, if nothing else. Cesaro and Nakamura got the win, but it feels like they are missing chemistry as a team. They'll have to find something for them to bond over other than Sami Zayn, because he can't do the work in the ring for them. So, that's really all there is to say on that. But it was another fun match, though. Solid fight here. So, this was about another 3 to 3.25 effort, but I think that Revival, Gable, and Ali tag was just a smidge better. So that's all there is to say on that. Michael Bullock, come on in. Nakamura and Cesaro over Heavy Machinery, 9 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give it about another 2.5 stars when it comes to this. It was a fun match. I would have loved to see a little bit more when it comes to this. So, you guys pretty much touched on everything. I'm not going to get any further on it. So, unfortunately for her, I think this is where we got more cutouts here.
Yeah. What happened here was, it's main event time. We had King Corbin squaring off against Kofi Kingston. That fight gets thrown out after 8 minutes and 32 seconds. You know our rule. That's an automatic NA. And then it was restarted as a tag team match. King Corbin and Dolph Ziggler against the New Day. New Day wins that by disqualification. So, but then Roman Reigns finally showed up, and Roman Reigns, well, got in the hits. He went after Corbin, but Corbin got away. But Ziggler was not so lucky. Dolph Ziggler got chokeslammed through a table off a ladder by Roman. So, obviously, this is probably going to be another cutout here. I'm sure that that Bullock and Didi don't want to get into this, and that's more than fine. That was a wild final segment, and I imagine the visual of Kofi being placed in chains and being strung over the ring post will garner some controversy. Certainly not a visual choice I would have made. Reigns might have been able to free Kofi and used his help in extracting some revenge had he used the element of surprise rather than coming down the ramp like some kind of Western movie. So that's really all I can say on that right now. So we're gonna get into our overall review here, and this was not a good show. There wasn't much to speak of for the matches, as this was all about the angle closing the show. But I can't say the whole thing made me, over the top excited about TLC. I just don't care about King Corbin enough to want to see him get his comeuppance. The effort to promote the show has been mailed in, and they don't have these feuds and characters in the right places to justify some of these stipulations. Main roster TV, both Raw and SmackDown, are in a very dire place right now. So, and I'm sure MF is probably counting his blessings right now that he has his work commitments right now. So MF, you didn't miss much of anything. Trust us, you didn't. Except for 2 decent tag team matches. And so because of this, I'm sorry. I gotta drop the hammer here. I gotta be the man who tells it like it is here. I gotta give this between a 2 and a 3 out of 10. This was not a good show at all. This was a snoozer of a show. A lot of cutouts, a lot of nonsense. And those 2 solid tag team matches saved this show from getting a squadouche, a 0. But those 2 tag team matches saved this show from getting that fate. So for me, no, screw it. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Bad show. So Raw was no better, but I'll be honest, Raw compared to this was actually better, if I'm going to be honest with you. So that's all there is to say on that. 2 out of 10 for me. So Bullock, do you agree with me? Or are you going to go lower? What are you going to do? It's a 2 out of 10 for me.
I'm sorry. I'm actually going to go lower. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. I mean, this was just, it was bad all the way, no matter how you cut it here. So, yeah, that's it. I got nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, just go.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Florio. I'm going to give it the 2 out of 10. It wasn't very newsworthy. It was, not something you'd really want for a go home show. You had 2 really good tag team matches, but the opening segment didn't make sense on New Day coming out with Corbin and Ziggler. It was just a bunch of something that looked like it was just thrown together or written by my 4-year-old granddaughter. So, if Vince wrote this, then he must have let his grandchild do it, because that was just too idiotic. It was just too stupid. So, I'm not adding anything else to it. Let's just get on to the preview.
Yes, and before I do, all I can say on behalf of the three of us, let me just say this. They're treating this event like it's a throwaway event, and all I can say is I'm just glad that this pay-per-view is going down this weekend, Sunday night. And then hopefully after this pay-per-view is over, I know it's going to be several weeks before the Royal Rumble. I believe it would be 6 or 7 weeks or so. I mean, let me see. 1, 2, 3. It's 6. It will be within 6 weeks of the Royal Rumble. And that pretty much means the start of WrestleMania season. And hopefully, I know it's probably not going to be right away, but hopefully they can end the year with a bang instead of a whimper. But don't hold your breath on that. And hopefully when we get to the new year, hopefully things will start to pick up again on both sides, on both Raw and on SmackDown. So hopefully starting Monday night in Des Moines, Iowa, hopefully we can put TLC behind us and we can slowly and methodically build to the Royal Rumble, one of our favorite events of the year. So that's all I can say on that. So, all right, let's get into TLC, the WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view, which will be live this Sunday night from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, exclusively on the WWE Network. Tables, Ladders, and Chairs have been the centerpiece of WWE's December pay-per-view for a decade, excluding the 2017 event when that relocated to the month of October. On Sunday night, SmackDown and Raw superstars will go at it once again with a pair of TLC matches and a tables match thrown in for good measure. Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin make up one of the TLC matches, while the Kabuki Warriors will put their women's tag team titles on the line against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in the other TLC match. Also on the card, Rusev battles Bobby Lashley in a match where the first man to put the other through a table will be declared the winner. And Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend, takes on The Miz, and much more. This is WWE's final pay-per-view of the year and sets wrestlers and fans alike on the track toward that glorious time of the year, the road to WrestleMania 36. So, with all that being said, let's start it off. First match from Monday Night Raw, it will be Aleister Black squaring off against Buddy Murphy. And we're going to hit the reset button. I'm going to start it off. So, since the draft, it's clear that the Raw brand is loaded with superstars who have bright futures in the company. And these two in particular seem destined for some great things in their respective careers. There is a good possibility that this goes down as maybe a match of the night contender from an in-ring standpoint when all is said and done, with Black coming away victorious and keeping his momentum moving forward. Fear not, though, because the insanely talented Murphy will lose very little in regards to his momentum in a competitive loss. So for me, the winner of this match, it's Aleister Black. So nothing more to say except Michael Bullock, Buddy Murphy, he knocked on his door, and he's picking a fight with Aleister Black.
Yes, he is picking a fight with Aleister Black here, but yeah, but in the end, the result, like you said, is not going to be too good. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Aleister Black to win this one. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So Dee Dee, what's in it? Yours?
I'm going with Aleister Black. So let's move on.
And we move on to our next match. This is going to be an open challenge for the Raw Tag.
Looks like technical difficulties for Florio.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, he was getting ready to talk about that the Viking Raiders open challenge. So yeah, I think we're just gonna have to wait until he comes right back in.
Yeah, more than likely. There he is.
internet connection problems. So that's all there is to say on that. So
Figured that.
yeah. So the this becomes this is becoming a regular thing. So all right. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. The next match is the Open Challenge. The Viking Raiders have issued an open challenge for the Raw Tag Team Championship. So so Michael Bullock, we're going to start with you. Who do you think is going to step up and answer the challenge of the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team Championship? And will that team do the unthinkable and unseed the Viking Raiders as Raw Tag Team Champions?
Boy, that's a tough one for me. I mean, I can't even really think of a team that could challenge the Viking Raiders. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot of. But you know what? I mean, if I'm gonna go with a surprise team, I know this may seem like a long shot here, but I'm gonna guess maybe they want to go with that element of surprise, and I'm thinking of maybe, and this is a long shot, but maybe the Usos, because we haven't seen them in a while. But you know, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But to me, either way, no matter who comes out and challenges them, I think the Viking Raiders still gonna walk out of here as your Raw Tag Team Champion. So, Dee Woodson, it's yours.
You're kind of reading my mind a lot of, because I've also read a lot of the dirt sheets that said the same thing. Surprise entrance for for facing them could be the Usos. As for any of the existing tag teams that are currently on the roster, I don't know who would come out there, but I don't think anybody would be able to take it off of them unless it would be, somebody like the Usos or or even if we ever see AOP actually do something in the ring, maybe they could take it off of them. But my pick has to be that they'll retain, and as far as who they're going to face, don't know. So it's yours for you.
Yeah. The Open Challenge here presents an interesting opportunity for WWE to throw a curve. And, well, actually, hold on. Under the watchful eyes of Raw creative lead Paul Heyman. Here's another name that's been thrown out, the Street Profits. I mean, I know we saw it on Monday night, but the Street Profits have enjoyed a unique introduction to the main roster, which began while they were still competing in NXT. Last week's debut of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford's Saturday Night Live spoof of Weekend Update further illustrated Raw's commitment to these two as comedic leads. Maybe it could be the time for them to strap the rocket pack on them and elevate them into championship status. Their recent loss on Raw could serve as a smokescreen for the Profits to arrive as surprise challengers and win the titles. But the Open Challenge here does present an interesting opportunity for WWE to throw a curve and give us a surprise tag team challenger. The only team that does come to mind, like Bullock and Didi said, that would fit that billing would be the Usos, who have been off TV for a bit and are waiting for a return. Another interesting name, the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys also count, but it does not appear as if Jeff Hardy is anywhere near ready to come back. If it is the Usos, I could definitely see a change happening. If it is not, I'm not sure why you would have the Raiders drop the titles to the Street Profits or a more mediocre team when the Profits in particular just got creamed on Monday night. So for now, I will go with the Viking Raiders to successfully defend the Raw Tag Team Championship. However, if it's the Usos, I think we could see new champions. I really do. So that's all we can say on that. Now we move on to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. And, well, it was just announced earlier today that this match will be a ladder match. The New Day defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championship against the Revival in a ladder match. Didi Woodson, how about it?
Yeah, this may be pretty interesting. I mean, you got to see both teams highlighted tonight in different matches, and Revival looked really good tonight. So there's a chance they could come away with it, especially after everything that happened with Kofi tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and say that the New Day is going to retain, but there is a very good chance, and I would not be surprised if the Revival does walk away with it. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. This match is a little more than a rivalry that is being played as a stay busy situation for New Day, who remain important in bringing reactions to SmackDown. The Revival are great, but it doesn't feel a clear enough direction exists for them to win the belts at TLC. Without Woods being tag champs and making these kinds of title defenses while getting pops on Friday night remains the most intriguing thing to do with the New Day. So, should be a great match. This is one of two matches on this card that I think have potential to be show stealers. A sleeper candidate for Black and Murphy, but that's only if they get time. But this is one match that I have a good feeling about that has fight of the night potential here. So, winners and still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, I am going with the New Day. So really nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts? Revival, New Day, SmackDown Tag Team titles ladder match.
Yeah, I think this could be a really good match. I mean, we've seen the history with these two teams, and yeah, now you add the ladder match to it. I mean, this could definitely be one that we're interested to see how it goes. So, but yeah, either way, I got the New Day retaining the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So, let's move on, Florio.
Yes, and we are going to move on to the match that honestly I think is going to steal the dang show here. First time ever, the women are going to compete in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. This will be for the women's tag team championships. The champions, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, they will defend against Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch, the man, and the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Oh, my word. In the world of pro wrestling, if the world of pro wrestling were based in logic, the fact Lynch and Flair both came within inches of defeating the tag champs in handicap matches should indicate that together they will run away with this match and win the titles. But that's not how storytelling works. Lynch and Flair, as reluctant partners holding the gold, is a staple of wrestling, especially the Attitude Era. There are more interesting things to do with Lynch and Flair on top than entering into some sort of program after one supposedly costs the other the win here. And that could be enough motivation to move the belts to Becky and Charlotte. However, Asuka and Kairi Sane have been doing an insanely commendable job as the heel tag team champions, and their momentum should not be halted here whatsoever. From a logical standpoint, it would make all the sense in the world that a Lynch-Flair pairing should dispose of the champs rather quickly. Ultimately, however, the TLC stipulation added to this bout should give the heels an easy out to retain. So this is the toughest match to call here. I mean, this could go either way. But at the end of the day, I am going to go. I'm going to go with the Kabuki Warriors to successfully defend the women's tag team championships. I have heard that they are talking about doing a Becky Lynch and Asuka program for the Raw Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble. And if that should be the case, then I think Becky would get the win back from last year when they were battling for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So, and it could lead to something very interesting for Becky down the road, especially with that dirt sheet I sent you guys on our messenger a little earlier this evening. So that's all I can say on this. So I'm going to go with my gut here. My gut's telling me to go with the Kabukis to retain. So I'm going to go with the Kabuki Warriors to successfully defend the SmackDown Women's Tag Team Championship in what should be, in my opinion, the show stealer of the night. So that's all I can say on that. So Michael Bullock, I think we're going to be calling the Minneapolis PD because I think these 4 young ladies are going to steal the dang show. First ever women's tables, ladders, and chairs match. How about it?
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to steal the show. I mean, with this being, like you said, the first ever women's TLC match. I mean, yeah, this has got something really good brewing here with these 4. I mean, this is tough. I mean, part of me wants to go with Becky and Charlotte to dethrone Asuka and Kairi Sane, but I mean, I like the momentum they've been giving the Kabuki Warriors as the heel tag team champions, and to me, I think they need to keep that momentum going for these 2 young ladies here. So to me, I'm going to say winner and still women's tag team champions, the Kabuki Warriors. Dee, what's in it yours? Or did she lead off on it?
No, I didn't lead off on it.
Oh, all right. It's yours.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think the Kabuki Warriors will come out with it. Because in my opinion, I think they're going to start a feud with, like Florio said, with them in singles matches or
Becky and Asuka. Becky and Asuka
right.
being rumored from the Raw. They're being rumored for the Royal Rumble.
Exactly. So why would you give the title to Charlotte and Becky if you're going to have this feud here? So yeah, I think it'll probably be the Kabuki Warriors that will retain. So I thought.
Yes, and we move on to quite frankly the far and away worst thing going on Monday Night Raw, hands down. The gift that keeps on giving, just as much as those damn impeachment hearings, but nonetheless, another gift that keeps on giving. Rusev, Bobby Lashley, they're going to meet in a tables match. Hey, Bullock, I believe this is going to put some butts in the seats. Yeah, right. The toilet seats. Hi-yo.
Hey-yo. Yeah, I'm not even going to waste my time with this. I'm going to go with Rusev on this one. Dee, what's in it yours?
Oh, I hope Rusev wins this so we can get an end to this crap. I mean, Jerry Springer, here we come. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah. While the Rusev-Lashley feud is succeeding in getting Rusev over with the fans again, and Lana vociferously booed, I think we're all in agreement that we want it to come to an end sooner than later. But here's the problem. Where does either go from here if and when it does end? The stipulation of a tables match makes it so that a superstar can lose without actually being hurt by the booking. You can fall off a ring apron, step through a table, etc., and take the loss without being pinned or submitted. As such, I think this was booked as a tables match rather than a TLC match. So, we'll have to wait and see. To say that this entire storyline has been a roller coaster for better or worse would be an understatement. It would make a ton of sense to give the heel Lashley the victory here if the goal is to further this godforsaken storyline. But ultimately, that may not be the best idea, as you run the risk of fans completely jumping off the train if it goes too far off the rails. So with that being said, once again, Rusev is massively over with the people, despite the downs from the program. that have accomplished the ups. So it's time to capitalize on that by just giving him the win here and beginning to move on to something else for the Bulgarian Brute heading into WrestleMania season. So I agree. I'm going to go with you guys. I'm going to go with Rusev to win this match. Now to the match that I think is ultimately going to be the main event of this pay-per-view. It might be. It might not be. I don't know. We'll see. Tables, ladders, and chairs match. Roman Reigns squaring off against King Corbin. So I believe Didi Woodson starts this off. We go from the worst thing on Raw to the worst thing on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, just watching it tonight made me sick. Not to mention all the stuff they did last week. Ugh. I'm going to go ahead and say that Roman's going to win this. Although, you know, if you went with Booking 101, it would be Corbin. Plus, you have the flunky he's got in his corner that'll probably be out there as well. But I'm going to go ahead and go with Roman's going to win this. So, Floyd, what's yours?
Yeah. I might have been on board with a cheap Corbin win aided by Dolph Ziggler before Corbin and Ziggler smothered Reigns with dog food while handcuffing him to the ring post. Reigns, we saw he got them back for that on the show tonight. A win at TLC is the way you erase that level of humiliation. So it also doesn't make sense to weaken Roman Reigns heading into the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season when, you know, especially with the dirt sheets that I've read, I've heard that the big dog is being groomed for another WrestleMania main event program. It's being rumored that he's the one who's gonna go after The Fiend, supposedly at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. So that's just what I'm hearing. I don't know. But then again, we got to figure out Daniel Bryan as well. We'll get into that in a moment. But for me, the winner of this match, it has to be Roman Reigns, especially after what we saw tonight. So I'm going with the big dog to win this match. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I'm sure you're going to make this unanimous.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Roman Reigns too. So, there's really nothing more to say. I say we just wrap it up. I mean, I think we are all in agreement that this TLC is something we're all not looking forward to.
Well, we have one match left.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we have one match left. Believe me, I want to move on too. But we got one more match left. And this is going to be a non-title match. The Miz is going to square off with the Firefly Funhouse version of Bray Wyatt and not The Fiend. So the fact that the Universal Championship is not at stake in this one sticks out like a sore thumb. Could this be all part of Wyatt's storyline plan to use The Fiend to turn all of his opponents to the dark side and leave them forever changed? Enticing The Miz to fuel his anger could theoretically be part of that plan. Similar to Hell in a Cell, where Wyatt willingly took punishment in order to bring out the darkness in Seth Rollins. This could be a setup for the same, as The Miz could get a win here and Wyatt gets what he wants without losing the title. But the fact that Wyatt is wrestling as himself, well, the quote-unquote Mr. Rogers version of himself, to me raises the expectation that he is susceptible to a loss, as he will not be the unstoppable Fiend persona in this match. There is also the added fact that this is a non-title match, ensuring that a loss could happen without the strap changing hands. If he was facing Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns or someone of that ilk, I would probably predict a loss here. But he's facing The Miz, who appears primed as a stopgap feud until Wyatt and Bryan continue their battle next month at the Royal Rumble. So while I think Wyatt comes close to losing, ultimately he should prevail. Plus, if Miz wins, all he would do is lose to The Fiend on an ensuing show. So I'm actually going to go with Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt to win this match. So Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this non-title match? Not the Fiend. Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt against The Miz. Universal title not on the line.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make this short and sweet. I'm gonna go with the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt to win this match. So, Dee, Woodson, it's yours.
Wyatt. So let's put the bow on it.
Yes, and we will put the bow on this the special edition of Friday Night Cerebral Smack Talk. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We are off tomorrow, but we will be back with you Sunday night immediately following the pay-per-view. And we will be over on good old MF Michael Fletcher's channel, Braves Fan 95. MF will make his return, and MF will be our guide as we give you our complete recap of the TLC pay-per-view. That all goes down on Sunday night. And then Monday night, immediately following Raw, it'll be Ridiculously Raw. We'll review the Raw fallout from TLC, as well as my Tony's take on Impact Wrestling and 205 Live. And then from there, Wednesday night Mayhem, the big AEW Dynamite, but of course, NXT. That's the big show. Wednesday night, that huge double main event with Adam Cole and Finn Balor for the NXT Championship, and Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. So we'll get into that on next Wednesday with Wednesday Night Mayhem. And then Thursday, NFL Thursday, Week 16 edition. A lot of great matchups there. The headliners for me, the Buffalo Bills against the New England Patriots and the Green Bay Packers against the Minnesota Vikings. But there are some other great matchups to get into as part of Week 16. That'll be on Thursday. And then next Friday night, right back here for the Cerebral Smack Talk. Hopefully MF will be back for us with that. So that's it. So until Sunday night for our TLC pay-per-view recap show, it's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here for the Phenom Michael Bullock, for the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, and always and forever the hardcore pipe bomb DF from RI 401 Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend. And until Sunday night for the TLC pay-per-view, you've been watching, at least for this week only, the Cerebral Smack Talk right here on the Tone 25, here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.